With a live look to New York, we are following the very latest out of Donald Trump's hush money trial. The judge in the case has just found Trump in contempt for violating his gag order. So Trump is being fined $1,000 for each gag order violation. Judge Marchand also says Trump must remove the 7 offending posts from Truth Social and 2 offending posts from his campaign website by 2:15 Eastern today. In total, Trump is ordered to pay $9,000 for 9 violations of the gag order against him. Trump has claimed the gag order violates his freedom of speech. Joining me now to discuss is Richard Davis, former assistant Watergate special prosecutor. Good morning. Nice to see you and appreciate you joining us as we get this breaking news from New York. A lot of people were starting to wonder why the judge was taking so long to rule on the gag order case. Here we have 9 violations being handed down by Judge Marchand. Are you surprised, and do you think that it's going to deter Trump from violating the gag order again?
Well, I'm not surprised that he was found in contempt. They were pretty clear violations of the gag order. And, you know, in terms of deterring Trump, that's always going to be a challenge. He seems to not be able to control himself, and his lawyers seem not to be able to control him. My understanding, the judge suggested that, you know, if he persists, incarceration is possible. Now, I don't think that we're talking about extended incarceration. Maybe he'll say, you know, you're going to spend the next 2 hours in the lockup after court or something like that. Or he might say something like, if you persist and you're convicted, it's going to impact your sentence. I mean, the judge is going to be challenged to find something to really deter Donald Trump. $9,000 doesn't do it, but that was the maximum amount under the statute.
Well, there are some, Richard, who think that Trump is purposely goading the judge, that he wants the judge to send him to prison or jail behind bars.
I mean, it's not surprising that he might be thinking that. He is continually trying to use all these legal proceedings as part of his campaign. So I think that is a possibility. He is trying to goad the judge. And that's why if he does it, I mean, if the judge does it, I don't think you're going to see him spending the night in jail or days in jail. I think you'll see something more symbolic. Donald Trump will still be able to use it, but not to the same extent as if it was an extended jail period, which I don't think will happen.
All right. So the trial, meantime, is resuming today. Would the jury know about the gag order violations?
The jury will not know about the gag order violations. However, it is possible they will know if Donald Trump testifies, he potentially could be cross-examined about them. But right now, they will not know about that. These will be separate from what the jury will hear.
All right. So what do you expect we will hear in this second week of witness testimony?
Well, the testimony is beginning with the banker who is describing the processes by which Michael Cohen actually made the payments. This a somewhat disguised account that was created. I think he's already testified this morning that if he had understood that if it was political purposes as opposed to what the account appeared to be, it might have delayed opening the account, or he might not have opened it at all. So he's an important witness, not in the dramatic sense of a David Pecker or Michael Cohen, but just sort of laying the paper groundwork for the fact that these were the vehicles for which the payments were made. They were secretive, and that they were intended to obscure what the payments were for.
Okay, so the witness schedule hasn't been made public for obvious reasons. Why, Richard? We start with Pecker, then we go to the banker. Do you think Cohen then could be next? What's your sort of impression as to what is being laid out here, how the case is being laid out?
Well, my sense is they didn't want to begin with Michael Cohen, and they won't want to end with Michael Cohen because they want to begin with David Pecker to buttress him, and after he testifies, they may want to have some other witnesses who will also buttress him because he's obviously subject to attack. I don't think he'll be this week. You never know. Other possible witnesses that are being talked about are Hope Hicks, who is a political aide who may talk about the impact of what would have been the impact of the Stormy Daniels disclosure if it happened before the election. That's a possibility. We don't really know, but as I say, I don't think they didn't want to begin with Michael Cohen. They don't want to end with him. So he'll be somewhere in the middle. I don't know if it'll be this week.
Do you think Stormy Daniels will testify? And if so, what would she add?
Well, I think she will testify. I mean, I think that she will testify in terms of, the recipient of the payments, and she will talk about her her sexual relationship with Donald Trump. And I think she is an important witness, and I believe I'd be shocked if she did not testify. Again, the government, for understandable reasons, is not giving a lot of notice as to who will go next, but she will, I think, certainly testify.
Richard Davis is a former assistant Watergate special prosecutor. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
My pleasure.